To ask you first, how many of you have heard of Three Sister Mountains?
No.
You've heard it? You've heard it? No. Some of you, not too many though. Well, for those who haven't heard, they look just like this.
Oh.
Two tall ones. There you go. Three Sister Mountains.
I know that.
There you
I
go.
know that.
Well, if some of you haven't heard of Three Sister Mountains, I bet you haven't heard of Katy. Katy lives here. She lives in a cave. She does. And if you haven't heard of Katy, I bet you haven't heard of Jason.
No.
Well, Jason lives right here on the top of this very mountain here. And Jason is a giant.
Yeah.
He's huge. Jason is huge.
Even bigger than the small
Oh yeah,
mountain.
well, not too big, but he is huge. Comparing to Katy, he's enormous. And he has these shoulders like big rocks, like boulders.
Then he has zigzags here.
He has legs like tree trunks, you know. I'm
I'm
serious, he's huge. And do you know how he gets so muscular and so big?
And how?
He takes the huge rocks from the ground and he picks them up and he tosses them over the mountain. And he picks them and tosses them over the
And
mountain.
how does he pee?
I don't know, you'll have to ask him. So anyway, this is how he gets that strong, but that's a problem because every day from here, tum, 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 crash! A huge rock falls right here. And it shakes Katy out of her bed. And it knocks off the dishes from her counter and spills things.
That's good.
Well, not for Katy. And, you know, Katy's not the one who complains. So she just, you know, picks herself up, dusts herself off. She cleans her little cave and she goes about her day. And then one day, Katy was out of her little cave to pick some flowers. She wanted a nice bouquet for her home. And she was picking these beautiful flowers. And when all of a sudden, bam, 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 crash! One huge boulder came right there. And it almost squashed Katy. Now Katy was very upset. Imagine if you were about to get squashed. Would it be funny for you? I don't think so.
Sandwich.
She was really upset. She almost started crying. And she decided she had had enough. She marched up this mountain to find Jason. And she found him and she said, "Jason, you big galoot, stop throwing those rocks down the hill. Somebody might get hurt. You almost squashed me." "Ha ha ha ha," laughed Jason the giant. "And who's gonna stop me, you little thing? Ha 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 ha." Now Katy didn't really have an answer to that because she was so much smaller than Jason. So she picked herself up and just turned around and went down the mountain back to her house. And you know what she decided to do?
What?
She picked all her things and she decided to move. And she moved to another cave on this side of the mountain, hoping that things will get much better. And you know, things were better for a long time, except during that time, Jason got even stronger. He was practicing. Now he could throw not only one, but two boulders at a time. He would pick them up and he would toss them over the mountain every day. And not only that, he was learning how to toss not over one mountain, but over two mountains. And so time passed, and one day, Katy was playing with her friend Albert. They were outside having a wonderful time playing hide and seek when all of a sudden, doom, 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 crash!
Two rocks.
Another boulder came right down
But
here.
try another rock because he can
There it is.
two at a time.
There it is.
But he got
No, well, this one came down. Maybe the other one fell somewhere else. I don't know. But anyway, the thing was that Katy stayed on one side of the boulder and Albert was on the other side of the boulder. And Katy thought, oh my goodness, what if it squashed Albert? Albert, are you okay? Fortunately, Albert was okay because he was on this other side. But Katy had had enough this time. She marched up the mountain again to find Jason. She found him. She told him, Jason, you picked the loot. Stop throwing those rocks. You almost squished my friend Albert. Stop it. Stop it. Ha, 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 ha. Laughed Jason the giant. Who is going to stop me, you little thing? Ha, 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 ha.
You're a ninja.
Mm.
You are a ninja.
At that moment, Katy was so upset. She started stomping her feet in anger. And in that very moment, the top of this mountain blew off. And steam started coming out of it.
It's a volcano.
It shaking so hard that poor Katy fell from the top of this mountain on her little back, her little feet up in the air.
It's a volcano.
And Jason the giant saw the mountain going poof, poof, and steam coming out of it, and he thought, ooh, if a small creature just by stomping her feet can do that, well, I'm out of here, he said. And he went down this mountain and up this one and down this one again, and he ran and ran into a forest, ran in circles, and eventually he got lost. And nobody saw him ever again.
Yay!
Katy
was so
picked herself up, dusted herself off, and she said, well, this is not bad. Not bad for a little mouse at all. So who was Katy?
little mouse.
She was a little mouse who defeated the big, huge giant. There she is.
Oh,